Dear viewers, if you need more videos, please subscribe our channel. Also, you can buy worldwide cheap price. All airlines tickets is here. About Hunza Valley. In Pakistan, the valley surrounding the Hunza River is home to some of the world's best treks, with trail lengths ranging from a few hours to several days. Combine nature with history, with a steep walk up to the 800-year-old Baltit Fort, and hire a tour operator to help you explore the magical villages, interact with the hospitable locals, and score the freshest apricots in the valley. Hunza Valley is exceptionally beautiful during the cherry blossom season in spring, and for the changing colors of fall. Summer is the rainy season and winter can get quite cold. What is the best time to visit Hunza Valley? The best time to visit Hunza in general is June-September. Hunza's weather is simply divine during this period with minimal rain and opportunities for lake swimming. This is also prime trekking season, and saying there are a lot of treks in and around Hunza is a massive understatement. The most magical time to visit, though, is from around October 31st, November 15th, when fall foliage turns all of the places in Hunza Valley into an autumnal wonderland. This is also a good time to begin traveling Pakistan from north to south. Fall in Hunza comes around October-November, where you can expect temperatures around 0 to 7 C. As the Hunza region sits at 2,500 meters or higher, the air is quite dry, and I personally don't find it as cold as humid cold places. Fall is truly the best time to visit Hunza. Even if you're from a place where fall foliage occurs, trust me when I say you ain't ever seen it like this. Wintertime Hunza Valley tourism is essentially closed in winter, which runs roughly from December to March. During this time, temperatures can range between 12 and 0 C, contrary to popular belief. Hunza Valley is accessible year-round by road via the KKH. Despite freezing temps, all the places in Hunza turn into a snow globe, lakes freeze, and you'll be able to enjoy all of the epic sights without any tourists. Remember that electricity, running water, and other amenities may be very problematic during winter, but it's still worth experiencing at least once. Springtime. Spring, the beautiful cousin of fall, lasts from April-May, where you can expect temperatures anywhere from 5 to 20 C. The first 2 weeks of April, and sometimes the last week of March, brings stunning cherry blossoms to the entire valley and is truly a must-see. Summertime. As much as I love fall, summer in Hunza is the overall best time to visit. June, September is the best Hunza weather window, especially if you want to dive into any treks. The entire valley becomes lush green, lakes become swimmable, and temperatures hover around 21-30 C. Hunza Valley Travel Guide. Now that you know a bit about the best places to visit in Hunza, here's some more info to help you plan for your trip to Hunza Valley. How to get to Hunza. Getting to Hunza is a journey within itself from any of Pakistan's major cities. And regardless of where you start from, whether it be 8,000 plus miles away like I did, or somewhere relatively closer like someplace in Lahore, you're going to have to first make your way to Islamabad to get to Hunza. By public transport Faisal, movers and Natco buses have routes from Islamabad Aliabad that operate frequently in peak season. For around 2,600 PKR, these buses have reclinable seats and some have TVs and headphones. When the Babasar Pass is open from May-October, this journey takes around 12-ish hours without inclement weather. But when it's closed, you can expect a journey of around 18 hours. This can increase by several hours if you're traveling during Ramadan or encounter a landslide. Other options include the cheaper coasters, which are usually small vans of some sort. For around 800 PKR or less, you can get a seat in one of these local rides, usually to Gilgit. By plane flights to Gilgit and Skardu are becoming more and more frequent as tourism in Pakistan continues to grow. 45-minute flights that usually cost between 10,000 to 15,000 PKR are available from Islamabad and Lahore. Keep in mind that these flights are frequently cancelled, especially in winter and early spring. From Gilgit Airport, you can reach Ali Abad in 3 hours, and from Skardu Airport, around 6 thanks to the newly built Gilgit-Skardu Road. Have more best places to visit in Hunza Valley we give you here? Budget backpacker or honeymooner? These are the most amazing tourist places to visit in Hunza Valley. Karimabad away, one of the most famous places to travel in Hunza Valley, and for good reason. Karimabad is a picturesque village that should be on every Pakistan itinerary. Karimabad is located in central Hunza and is reachable via a winding road from the KKH. The village features cobblestone streets, numerous cafes, and a bazaar where you can shop for cute traditional Hunza wear until you drop and peaceful. Majestic views. Why it's epic. Karimabad is situated far away from the road and is a beautiful representation of a modern village. It holds centuries of history, including the iconic Baltit Fort, which is over 700 years old. What to do in Karimabad? Visit the 700-plus-year-old Baltit Fort. Go on a day trek to the Queen's Monument, head to the Highland Cafe or Hunza Food Pavilion for traditional Hunza food. Wander through the water channels. The Altit Fort, which is located in a separate village from Karimabad called Altit, is over 700 years old and was used by the Mirs of Hunza before they began to use the Baltit Fort. Entry to the fort includes a tour and a bit of a history and conservation lesson about this fascinating historical place in Pakistan. The interior of the fort is stunning, and you can get an insane view of the Hunza River from the outside of it. Why it's epic? It's nearly a 1,000-year-old fort, need I say more? But seriously, a visit to this fort gives you a deeper look into Hunza's ancient history. It's one of the most famous places in Hunza Valley. Things to know before visiting the Altit Fort. Hours: 9:30 a.m., 5:30 p.m. daily, except major holidays. Entry fee, 500 PKR for Pakistanis, 1,200 PKR for foreigners. About Malam Jaba Ski Resort. Adventurous yet fun activities at Malam Jaba Ski Resort. Our exhilarating chairlift. The resort offers a range of recreational activities: chairlift, zip line, human slingshot, giant swing, etc., along with scenic views of the surrounding valley. There is also a 5-star hotel located at the resort, PC Malam Jaba, offering premium accommodation to visitors. In addition to attracting a large number of local as well as international tourists, Malam Jaba also hosts a variety of exciting events throughout the year, including but not limited to the internationally recognized Red Bull Home Run, Mountain Marathon, Grass Ski Competition, and many more. Best places to see in Hunza, because the view is, well, unreal to put it lightly. From the top, which is a rocky top with various interesting rock formations, you can see all of central Hunza, Rakaposhi Mountain, Baltit Peak, the Karakoram Highway, and more. Keep in mind Duikar is high up, and while you technically could walk there as a day hike, it's steep, and from the 0 point of Karimabad would take several hours to reach. If you don't have your own ride, hitchhiking or paying for a taxi is def's worth it. The best time to visit Eagle's Nest is actually at sunrise to beat the time, because sunset can get crowded, especially in peak summer. Visiting in shoulder seasons like the months of April or November also means few people, even at sunset. Places to visit in Upper Hunza, Gojal. These are all of the iconic tourist spots in Upper Hunza, which is also known as Gojal and essentially begins at Attabad Lake. Attabad Lake turquoise blue, Like you wouldn't believe, the Attabad Lake is perhaps the most famous place in Hunza and sits alongside the Karakoram highway just before the village of Shishkat. When enjoying Attabad, though, it's important to remember its history. You see, unlike the Pasu Cones or the Altit Fort, Attabad isn't a natural lake or a carefully constructed fortress. On January 4, 2010, a massive landslide destroyed the village of Attabad, which also blocked the Hunza River. Many died, and more were displaced or heavily inconvenienced for years. Which is why my biggest recommendation when visiting Attabad Lake is to support locals of the area by supporting local businesses, of which there are many all around the 21-kilometer-long lake. Yup. While the circular part of the lake with various water activities borders Shishkat, you can see narrower parts of Attabad Lake starting from Salmanabad before the KKH tunnels. Even after seeing it dozens of times by now, this is one of the things to see in Hunza that's even better in person than pictures make it seem. It's undoubtedly one of South Asia's most beautiful landmarks these days. Why, it's epic. It's a rare phenomenon in the form of a super bright blue lake set against a mountainous backdrop. Need I say more? Things to do at Attabad Lake, go. On a boat ride, stay overnight at one of the nearby campsites, hike to a viewpoint for the best Attabad Lake scenes. Hussaini Bridge, dubbed the most dangerous bridge in the world. I wouldn't exactly give the Hussaini Bridge that title. It was semi-recently renovated, but it's for sure one of those places to visit in Hunza that you just can't miss. The A bridge can be found at the end of a dirt path, and there are plenty of places for snacks nearby. If you really want to take bridge walking to another level, you can do a full-day trek across the Hussaini Bridge and through the summer settlement of Zarabad. Eventually, you'll find yourself at the Pasu Bridge, which is not only longer, but significantly scarier. If you plan on doing this day hike, download maps.me beforehand as it has the best coverage of the area. Things to know about. Visiting the Hussaini Bridge hours, daylight hours entry fee, 100 PKR. Borith Lake love to swim? Then you can't miss Borith Lake. The unique saltwater lake is settled beneath mountain peaks up a dirt off-road track best plied by 4x4s or motorbikes. The lake sits at 2,600 malers and is simply the best place to be in Hunza. On a hot, sunny day, if you keep driving from Borith Lake, you'll encounter a 0 point where you can't drive any further. This is not only a great Pasu Cones viewpoint, but also the start of the amazing multi-day trek to Patundas, a meadow that overlooks the nearby Batura Glacier. Why it's epic. It's an amazing place to swim as the water is unusually warm. The lake is also a fab place to camp in Hunza during summers. Things to do at Borith Lake, go for a swim. Take a walk to the 0 Point Chill out at one of the lakeside hotels, trek to the adjacent Pasu Glacier. Pasu, famous for the mesmerizing Pasu Cones, is a tourist spot in Hunza that is worth every ounce of praise it receives. The Pasu Cathedral, as it's called, simply doesn't get old, and ironically, despite being more remote than some other places on this list, Pasu has one of the best restaurants literally ever. The small village even has its own glacier, which can be odd from the KKH and actually trekked upon too. Pasu also has a backpacker or budget traveler-friendly stay option, which I absolutely love to see, as most places to stay in Hunza are on the pricier side. Why it's epic? Google Pasu Cones. That's it. That's the sentence. Things to do in Pasu: stay at the Cathedral View Inn, take a short trek to the Pasu Lake, eat the best burger of your life at the Yak Grill, try the famous apricot cake at Glacier Breeze Cafe, Avgarsh spelled Obgarsh, on Google Maps. This historic destination is one of the coolest places in Hunza Valley and is only accessible via a scenic, but relatively easy, trek. Avgarsh was the first settlement of Hunza Valley and the original, Residents are Wakhi-speaking folks that came via Chapursan from the Wakhan corridor over 600 years ago. Today, you can still see the ancient masjid and watchtower in the old village square, and several people live in Avgarch year-round. There is a brown sign on the KKH that marks the beginning of the trail to Avgarch, which goes a bit through the village of Jamalabad. From the road, it's 10 km to the village, but relatively flat, so people in decent shape can reach in about 3 hours. Why it's epic? It's a more than 600-year-old village that's still standing, and the trek there is simply beautiful. Things to do in Avgarch: explore the entire village, trek further to Boibar Valley, get friendly with the locals. Shimshal Valley. Shimshal Valley, a remote valley in Hunza, is around 5 hours or so from Pasu. The stunning route was only completed in 2003 and took more than a decade to build. This beautifully secluded place in Hunza is well worth the journey, though which is perhaps one of the most stunning roads I've ever seen, not just in Pakistan, but anywhere. Shimshal is huge, so be prepared to be a bit shocked by its size, and to think it's even bigger than you can imagine, with pastures belonging to Shimshalis stretching deep into the mountains. Speaking of massive peaks, Shimshal is an adventure traveler's dream, with dozens of mountains, several glaciers, along with endless trekking, skiing, and climbing opportunities. It's also filled with the cutest Pakistani animal, in my opinion, the majestic yak. Why it's epic? Never-ending trekking opportunities, one of the most dangerous roads in the world, peaceful living, and fluffy yaks by the hundreds in the pastures. Things to do in Shimshal Valley. Take a day trek to the Yazgil Glacier. Embark on the journey to Pamir, also known as the Shimshal Pass. Trek pet a yak. Khunjarab border, which connects Pakistan with China, is the last place to visit in Hunza, because not only is it at the edge of the Hunza region, but also the edge of Pakistan. To reach the Khunjarab border, you'll coast along on an epic drive through Khunjarab National Park, which culminates at the 4706 m 15439 FT border. The national park is a massive nature reserve where you'll be guaranteed to see yaks and perhaps some marmots, and if you're lucky, ibex. The border is about 3 hours from central Hunza by car. While there, you can also see the world's highest ATM. Keep in mind, the park is a nature preserve and is mostly for driving through. You cannot walk through it. Things to know about visiting. The Khunjarab border hours: 9:05 p.m. entry fee, 100 PKR Pakistani citizens, 3,000 PKR foreigners. Dear viewers, if you need more videos, please subscribe our channel. Also, you can buy worldwide cheap price. All airlines tickets is here.